All right, we're at Media Row presented by Toyota. We're sitting on our Lazy Boy recliners. Long live the lazy. And joining me of Check the Mic is Steve Palazzolo. Steve, always good to see you. Super Bowl week.
Yeah, always a pleasure. Thanks for having me.
I know we were walking in, and the first thing you said was you really liked the hiring of Raheem Morris as the 49ers defensive coordinator. Why is that?
Yeah, I thought, he had the 2 years in Atlanta as head coach. They did actually get the defense back on track last year, even though Jeff Ulbrich came in. But before getting that job in Atlanta again, Raheem Morris had done a really nice job with the Rams. I think he's done a nice job also just changing his scheme through the years. He's been a four-man rush guy. He's been blitz heavy. I think he's shown that he could do a lot of different things. Tampa 2 history. And I think that's a mark of a very good defensive coordinator, is not just having a scheme, a system, much like a Robert Saleh, who came from the Seattle tree and have been able to change things through the years. I think Raheem Morris has shown the ability to do that.
Yeah. How important is that to just go into each situation with an open mind and designing what you want to do based on the talent you have?
It's massive. Saleh in particular with the Niners, you could tell the pass rush was going to be an issue this year, even when Nick Bosa was out there. And so the fact that they were able to have success despite not having a great four-man rush, even if they were using it, at a high percentage, they were able to adjust to personnel. It is massive. That's the NFL. And a lot of times, a lot of our conversations around coaching hires, the McVay tree and this system and the Shanahan tree, it's not like Kyle just calls all the same plays that he's been calling for the last 15 years. Yeah. He's got to be able to change and adapt. Sean McVay had to really change and adapt over the last 6 or 7 years for the Rams. So that is the job, right? And a lot of times I think we cover it and we talk about it as if it's just plays, but it really is adjusting to the league and adjusting to personnel and playing to player strengths.
Through your lens, how have you seen Shanahan adapt through the years?
Yeah, if you watch his film when he was with the Falcons or with the Browns or with the Texans, over a decade ago, you'd see a lot of wide zone. You'd see this similar play action concepts off of that. I think it's been a little bit less of the wide zone type of stuff, a little bit more shotgun, a little bit more straight drop back passing. It's just not as formulaic as it was, and it was never bad. I think Kyle is one of the very best play callers that the NFL has seen in the last decade plus, one of the best as far as maximizing quarterback production and run game. It's not just a few years of this. This is 15 years of Kyle Shanahan elevating from Matt Schaub to Jimmy Garoppolo to Brock Purdy and helping many, many types of quarterbacks, right? But it's just changed a little bit as far as what it looks like stylistically, right? How they run their splits, blocking schemes, run concepts, and a little bit more drop back passing.
So you were obviously on the ground floor of PFF.
Yeah.
How much do you still use the information or the analytics that they come up with in forming your own opinions?
So I'm biased because I was there for almost the beginning. And I still think it's really valuable. I think a lot of the PFF data and information is misused in the public, I would say, or misinterpreted in the public. So a lot of the negativity around it is like, well, you can't trust this, or you can't trust that, is more of a misinterpretation of it. I think when used properly, it's extremely valuable. I think at a high level, it's used really well. I'll give you one quick example where I think the data is really good, and using Shanahan as an example, there's other advanced metrics now, EPA, success rate, right? There's other things that you can look at, and then there's PFF grade, and I think when you put those things together, you get a really good picture. I think Shanahan's system historically has done a really nice job of getting, say, a high EPA, a good production number, which is production for, say, the entire passing offense, but maybe with quarterbacks with lower PFF grades. And so the story there to me is that the system's doing some of the work, or the receivers are doing some of the work, whether it is Matt Schaub, whether it is taking Matt Ryan to an MVP caliber season, whether it is Jimmy Garoppolo being one of the all-time leaders in yards per attempt and having some really highly successful seasons despite, say, the PFF grade being a little bit lower than you would expect for the production. So I think there's data to me is about storytelling. It's like, what is the data telling you? Can you get the proper story out of that? And whether it's PFF or other advanced metrics, they're all part of that storytelling process, I would say.
When you look at the 49ers, yes, they should be getting Bosa back, Michael Williams, Fred Warner sat down with this. He's healthy. He's ready to play. At some point, George Kittle will be back. Well, in addition to those guys that they're quote-unquote adding, what else do they need to now challenge the team that's going to the Super Bowl, the Seattle Seahawks.
So I think even with the reinforcements, say, on the defensive line, even with Bosa coming back and Maiocco Williams, it still felt like the pass rush was going to be an issue this year. Maiocco Williams is young. He's got great length. I think he's going to be an excellent run defender. I don't know if he's there yet as a pass rusher. So I think even with him getting picked at 11, he was never an elite pass rush type. That was going to be a developmental process. Bosa's getting older. We've got the injury concerns. When he's healthy, of course he can rush the passer. I think a little bit more on the edge is going to be needed, getting after the quarterback. I know they invested in a second and third round pick at defensive tackle, Alfred Collins and West. More there as well, interior pass rush disruption. I think you can never have too much. It's just a year ago we were talking about the Eagles and the importance of a four-man rush and winning with that. It's crucial. So I think just more defensive juice getting after the quarterback has to be priority number one.
All right, so Steve from Check the Mic, where else can people find you, and what do you got going on this week?
Yeah, we're just running. We're doing Fixing Every Team in a Minute series. So we're interviewing a bunch of people and we love team building. We love this offseason.
The 49ers
I just did it.
10 minutes.
I just did it, right? So that's what we love doing during the offseason is going through free agency, the draft. So we're doing that on our show, YouTube, or wherever you listen to podcasts. Check the Mic.
All right. Thanks so much, Steve.
Thank you.